that should work. Somebody give me a comment if you can hear me now. I've just changed some of my settings, so hopefully that will work. I'm gonna keep going, but yeah, the two-tone flora stamp set, matching dies, and these gorgeous papers which go with it. I saw an emoticon icon there. Is that still sad face or is that happy face now? Oh. I have gone live on this as well, so hopefully, as I say, gone live not just on Facebook, gone live on YouTube and Twitch as well, apparently. So this is screaming. I've got a heart. Yay! I've got hearts coming up, so you can hear me. Really glad to hear that. Okay, so we've talked about the stamps, we've talked about the dies, we've talked about the papers. What else comes with this suite? So there are these are the iridescent pastel gems. They're really cute, and again the same colors that coordinate with all of this. Then we've got the ribbon. Let me open this up and let you see the ribbon. I'm trying to open it without damaging it. There's probably an easy way of doing this. I have yet to spot that. There we go. So this is Pool Party, and it's a grosgrain ribbon. And it's a beautiful shade. That sort of kind of bluey green. I'm trying to get the camera to focus. It's not doing it as it normally does. This is a problem when you start mucking around with settings. But we've got a lovely Pool Party ribbon which matches this. The last thing that goes to this suite that I want to show you is really cool. Wait till you see this. Can you see how shimmery that is? Let me take it out of the paper, out of the packet to show you. Just look at the shimmer on that. And as if that wasn't enough, it comes in 3 colours. So these colours are Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, and Gold. Now, we've had shimmer vellum in the past and shimmer paper. This is more like cardstock. So this is, it's maybe as thick as our basic white card, rather than our thicker cardstocks or our coloured cardstocks, but it is definitely thick enough for you to do boxes or 3D items with. This is not just a thin, flimsy piece of paper. So you get 6 sheets in the pack, the Soft Succulent, the Fresh Freesia, and the Gold. And they, again, all coordinate with this particular suite. So, let me pop this away. I'm going to show you some other new items as well. People not able to comment. Normally I get lots of comments coming through. Let's have a look at the live chat. Ah, right, I have got lots of people making comments. See, this is the problem when I change these settings and everything changes. Hi, Julie. Hi, Marion. Glad that you're there. I can see you now. Lovely. Okay, so there's those dies. What have we got next? So this is the Something Fancy bundle. So you've got sentiments here. So there's 10 stamps in the set. Again, that's a cling stamp set with your red rubber. Really nice fonts and really nice words as well. You know, Tom says I'm never allowed to get rid of this set. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not always 100% on time for things. I'm trying to get better. I am. But I love this sentiment here. And then things like this: grateful for the everyday magic of you. Here's to beautiful beginnings and happily ever afters. May the good you do come back to you. There's a lot of lovely sentiments in that one. And it coordinates with this die set, which these are the Something Fancy dies. And so these are some labels and some tags. So there's a hexagon there as well. One of the things that's really cool about these label dies, if I just take that hexagon out of the way, there are 3 elements that fit with the tags, and what they do is they slot into place, so you can have that decorative element on the tag. You see that? Let me just show you. So you've got that part, but it's got the 3 kind of bumps on it so that it fits nicely into there. And you've got that with this one as well, which is a nice like teardrop shape. And then you got that one, I think it's that cute little tulip and leaves. So that is really cute. I'm gonna pop that back in there. So those are the dies that go with this particular set, the Something Fancy. Then last one I want to show you. Oh no, got 2 more to show you. So show you this one first. Alphabet a la mode. There's an alphabet set, which we're really pleased about because we've had alphabets in the past, but we needed another current alphabet set. So this is the one that they've come up with, and it is really lovely. The letters are really elegant, so they're kind of like these slimline letters. You've got your numbers included in this as well, so it's not just alphabet, it's alphabet and numbers. You've got your accents for all your non-English language words, so you've got an acute, you've got the little chapeau, you've got the 2 dots. Is that called an umlaut, I think? You've even got different letters, so the C with the cedilla underneath. This, I'm told, is pronounced like a double S. We saw this a lot in Germany, and the O and the E together. You've also got your exclamation mark, your and. I'm pretty sure there's a question mark in here as well somewhere. Maybe not. That's weird. Why would they do an exclamation mark and not a question mark? That's one to ask them. You'll also notice that some of the letters are doubled up. So you've got 2 A's, you've got 2 I's, you've got 2 N's, 2 R's. So if you're cutting lots of letters and cutting names, you can put through multiples at a time, 2 L's, you know, just to make it more useful. 2 T's, 2 S's, all of these common ones that you need. Hey, Laura. Hey, Margaret. So really, really lovely alphabet set. So I am excited to get that. And then the last bundle I'm going to show you is the Dainty Delight bundle, which is this one here. So again, this is a cling mount stamp, red rubber. It's got 9 stamps in the set. You've got these lovely, delicate sprigs of flowers and really nice fonts with the sentiments, you know, celebrate you, the best is yet to come. And it's got, again, coordinating dies. Hey Linda, glad you could join us as well. Let's have a look at these. So these dies, again, as you would expect, there's ones that actually match. So this one would cut out that sprig, that one will cut out that sprig, that one and that one, so on and so forth. But you've also got these extra bits. So this one could almost be used to do a wreath, so you can do all the way around in a circle, or you could do just ovals. You've got these extra sprig pieces here, extra flowers, extra leaves, it's an extra stem. It's just one of these really good versatile ones. Stampin' Up does florals well. They have a lot of different floral options available, and I don't buy a lot of them, but sometimes there's one that comes out that I just think that's one I need to get, and this is one of those sets. And at the start of next year, once the spring summer catalogue goes live and once Celebration goes live, you'll see me start to use these more. Okay, let's jump to the crafting side of things, because I have got a really cute box to make for you. Now, one of the really annoying things is I can't find it. I cannot for the life of me find where this box has went. And Karen, Laura, you guys, Julie, you guys will defend me, because I did show you the box. I showed it when I was at yours last Saturday. So we didn't actually do the project because we ran out of time. We were doing lots of other things, but I'm going to show you today how to make that box. So, in fact, I didn't even know if I'd left it at yours. I don't think so. I'm normally quite good at packing everything up, but right. So we're starting off with half a sheet of A4. So I'm going to cut that. So that's my 21 centimeters by 14.8. So this is half a sheet. Did I leave it or did I show you? Could go either way, Karen. Start off with half a sheet of A4. So you'll get 2 boxes. Yeah, the red one, Laura. You'll get 2 boxes out of a sheet of A4. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to score at 1 3/8 of an inch, which is, that's one, that's about there, 1 3/8. And then from the other side, I'm going to score at 2 3/8, like so. Showed it but didn't leave it. I don't know where it's gone then. Must have fallen out in the car maybe. Right, so I've got these 2 score lines here. And now I'm going to turn my card 90 degrees and I'm going to score every inch. So that's the first one, the second one, the third one, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And when you score down, you should be able to get 8 score lines in, and then you've got a teeny tiny bit at the end. Okay, so don't worry if you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you go, oh no, I've got this bit. You're meant to have that bit, so don't worry about that. Okay, so once I've done this, I'm going to take my take a pick tool, and at the moment I've got my spatula end and my pointy end, but the end I want to have is this one here that's got the 2 scoring points on it, and it's the smallest of the 2 that I want to put in. You can use a bone folder if you prefer, but I'm going to use this one here just now. And what I'm going to do is on my, maybe I should have done this on black, but you see how I've got a long bit at the bottom and I've got the short bit at the top. I'm going to do diagonal scores from the bottom left to the top right, and I'm going to do that for all 8 of my boxes. And the way that I'm going to do that is by putting it into my trimmer and just lining it up and following it along here, trying to do it without my head being in the way of the camera. And then you don't need to push too hard. You see I've got that score line. Okay, so we're not guilty. Sorry, I didn't mean to accuse anybody of anything, Karen. I know we have jokes about dangling you by your ankles to make sure that nothing's gone missing, but I think I must have left it in the car. There we go. So I'm just going all the way along, trying to keep my head out of the way of the camera as I do this. If you had a scoreboard that you wanted to use for diagonals, you could use that if you preferred. I'm using the trimmer because I've got it here, it's handy. I love a bit of a multi-purpose tool as well. It's nice having lots and lots of tools, but sometimes you've got one that just does it all. Haven't managed to get it to do my dishes yet though. Right. There we go. So now you can see I've got diagonal lines across all 8 of my boxes. And what I'm going to do is exactly the same thing, but in the other direction. So I'm going to do, it's like a cross you end up with in each of these boxes. So let's just go back down the way. No dangling by the ankles required. On this occasion, I think we say, Karen. Just a quick reminder for everybody that's coming to my Christmas party this weekend. So this is for all my lovely team members. Looking forward to seeing you at 10 o'clock. We are going to have a lot of fun. We've got games planned. We've got crafting planned. We're going to have a lot of fun. For anybody who's feeling left out, there are always opportunities to join my team. There's a brilliant recruiting offer starting in January. I mean, you can join early if you choose, but January is when the next special offer comes, and trust me, it's a really good special offer as well, so I would hate for you to miss out. Okay, so as you can see, I've now got all the way along here, I've got all of these points. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to do a score line from this center point here up to the top. So if I put this in, I'm going to show you, I'm just going to line it up, and I can use these inch markers on my trimmer because you know each of these lines here is 1/4 of an inch. So I'm basically taking it to that middle bit there, so that's 1/2 an inch, and I'm just going to score it out the way like so. Hold that up and show you. You see? Tilt it. Yeah. And I'm going to do that across each of these bits here. This sort of box, although I'm doing it on a 1/2 sheet of A4, you can actually do them any size you want. As long as that bit in the middle, you can have it longer or shorter. This bit needs to be the same and the top bit needs to be the same, but actually you could use an entire sheet of A4 and just make that middle bit longer, because then that would give you a longer box. And actually, I thought if I did a longer box, I might do it long enough to hold maybe like a mini bottle of wine, or a bottle of anything really. You know, you get these little mini bottles of champagne. You could use it for bottles of shampoo, perfume. It's a good size box. Right. Let me do that final one. Right. So there you can see I've got my crosses along each of the boxes, and then I've got that extra line that goes along the top. Cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fold all of our score lines. And I'm just going to get my trusty bone folder just to make sure that I get these nice and sharp. So I'm doing these long ones first, and then I'm going to flip it around and do these ones here. You might think black is an odd colour to do a box, Emma, but I'm going to be using my Lights Aglow paper, so I thought the black and gold would be really striking. I've really been loving this paper. I'll be gutted when it gets to Christmas and it's gone, but right. There we go. So I've done all my score lines horizontally and vertically. And now I'm going to do my diagonals. So I want to be careful with these because I don't want to have diagonals all the way down. So I'm just folding as I go along to do all the diagonals. And I find it easiest to do them all in one direction and then turn around and do them all in the other direction. So we just end up like that. I think this particular box is called a star-topped box because the shape you get at the end is like a star. Good question, Laura. The bone folder is actually made of bone. So it's one of the best materials for having your lines and your creases done without shining things too much. And it's sturdier than plastic. So yeah, it is actually made of bone folder. And that is why sometimes when you get ink on it, it kind of soaks in because there's a grain to it almost, rather than just wiping off by plastic. I think some companies do them in plastic, but the Stampin' Up! Ones are definitely bone. It's one of their few products that isn't vegan. Most of their stuff is. Okay, so once you've done all of your diagonal lines along the top, the next thing you want to do is this crease here, and it just kind of pinches in the way like that. So you want to, actually, does it pinch in? No, pinches out. Pinches out the way. It doesn't matter which direction you do it in, but you're just going to pinch them like that. I'm going to go all the way along. It is easier by far if you do your diagonals first and then do your little pinches. Do you want to know how I find that out? I find out the hard way. Bones from Naughty Crafters. Oh, you're giving me ideas here. Okay, so you've done all of your crease lines at this point, and you've got your tops that I've done with the crosses there, and they've been pinched too. What you're going to do next is some cutting. So first of all, what you want to do is if you have a look, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits, and then you've got this little bit at the end. This bottom one here, we're going to cut it off. So we're going to cut the whole thing. We're just going to cut along that score line. And then we're going to cut there. So we have cut that piece off. Okay? And I want to stress that is the only bit that you're going to cut off and get rid of. Everything else should be attached. Okay? So, next though, you want to cut along all of these. Could do it in your trimmer if you wanted. I've got my scissors out and my trimmer is over there somewhere. My craft room is kind of chaotic at the moment, but then when is it not? I do need to get it organised because of everybody turning up on Saturday. So I have a lot to do between now and then. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's do all of these lines. You don't need to be super concerned about getting these perfectly straight because they're going to be the bottom of your box and they're not really going to be seen. So don't get too hung up about how that looks. Okay. Now, this bit up here, you are going to cut a line along there. And then what I want to do is this piece here, we're going to cut in a diamond like that. Okay, so you basically want, can you see there? So that little flap gets cut into a diamond. And then this central flap, I'm just going to slightly trim those edges, as those corners as well. Okay, so your whole thing should have all of these flaps cut. This one, the corners cut off, and this top piece cut into a nice diamond shape. Right, before you go any further, do your decoration. Again, you might be able to tell that there's a story behind that. It's far easier to do your decoration at this stage than to try and do it later. So, let me have a quick look at this. I'm using this sheet here from my Lights Aglow paper, and I'm just going to confirm. So this, I'm going to do about 2 inches by 7/8. Let's do that. So if I cut this to 2 inches and then cut these ones at 7/8. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't have enough, which is annoying, but that's fine because what I'll do now, because you see I want them all to be pointing the same way. I'm such a fussy person. Let's do this. Let's take that to 7 inches, to 7/8. And then because it's a 6-inch paper, these ones will be 2 inches as well. There we go. So I've got 8 pieces that are all the same size and all the same orientation. If you are going to use different pieces of paper, then just make sure that, you know, patterns facing up, all in the right direction, all that sort of stuff. If that's something that you feel is important. Other people will be like, do you know what? Cut them on, stick them down, whack them on. It'll be fine. And it will be fine. There is no crafter police that's going to come and batter down your door if you've got papers where their patterns facing the wrong direction or they don't all match or anything like that. And if you ever do get chased by the crafters police, send them to me and I'll give them a word or two. Right, I'm going to put these on to these central bits here and decorate them. Using my trusty Tombow because it's good for being very forgiving. Let me move things around as I need to. You know what it's like sometimes when you put them on, it hasn't gone perfectly aligned, so you just give it a wee wiggle. That's all we want, just a wee wiggle. I do love this paper. Don't you just love the black and the gold? I think it's really opulent. And the stars. Actually, the stars for a starry box are really perfect. Love that. Love, love, love. And pop that on there, that final one. Believe me, it is so much easier sticking them all down when your box is like this, rather than once you've assembled it and then you're trying to stick them all into place. Okay. All right, next thing we're going to do is put some tear tape. So I'm using a stronger adhesive here, and I want to put tear tape on this flap here. And I want to put it on my diagonal flap. I'm doing it, can you see, I've done it right the way along, even though part of it's kind of hanging over the edge there. I need to sort my focus out on that. What I'm going to do is just peel off the first one. Where's my pokey folder, my pokey tool? If you haven't discovered this, it makes it so much easier just for lifting up pieces here. Now, I've got those bits hanging over, but I'm going to bring them up and fold them under just to give me that extra bit of adhesive. And then this, I'm going to kind of fold it so that two of them are over, and then fold the other two over and stick it down like that. So now I have a tube, like so. Okay. What I want to do next is basically fold it in half, and I'm going to take my tear tape and I'm going to put tear tape all the way across both the top and the bottom, or the left and the right, depending on which way you're looking at it, each of these long strips. And before you get carried away, I'm not doing them on absolutely all of them, I'm only doing them on the 4 on this side. Okay, so do them all on 4 like that. So I've got 4 that are done and 4 that are not done. Okay, you've conquered tear tape. I knew you would, Marion. I had every confidence in you. Once you've put your tear tape on, pull off all the pieces. One of the things I love about tear tape, do you remember red tape? Red tape is really strong and used to love it. Tear tape, of course, you can just tear it rather than having to cut it. But red tape, those bits would cling, wouldn't they? I mean, the static electricity, you would peel the bits off and then you would be like, get off my finger. You know, it would be sticking to you everywhere. Okay, so you've now got 4 that are all stuck like this. What you want to do is hold your box, and you're going to do this kind of like a hexagon. So start with one of your flaps with a sticky one. So if you consider I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to start with number 3, and I'm going to push it down, and then the one opposite it, I'm going to stick it down so that it's perfectly over the top like that. Do you see? And I'm just going to use my fingers and really get in there and make sure that that is well stuck down. And once I've done that one, so if you think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, I've done number 3. I'm now going to do number 1 because I want to create a cross in the middle. So I'm going to put, first of all, you put down the one with the tape, then you put down the one without the tape that matches opposite, and you try and get it straighter than that. Can I peel it off? No, it's on. Try and get it straight. That one's not perfectly straight. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Don't worry, Emma. So I'm going to put down another one of the ones with the glue, and then I'm going to stick the one opposite it, nice and flush like that. And then I'm going to put the final one with the glue, and then the final one opposite it, and hold it down like that. Here we go. And there you've got this octagon box. Now what's nice to do at this point as well is just to get your Tombow with the lid nicely firmly on and just kind of press that inside your box just to make sure that all of those bits of tape are nicely firmed down. And you've got this lovely little octagon box. Now, we need to finish it off. We've done these lovely little stars at the top, so we need to finish them off. So what we're going to do is these little pinch lines, we're going to pinch, and each one we're going to pinch and we're going to poke a hole in it. So I've got my my crocodile. I'm using the smallest of the holes. At first I thought maybe I should have done this before I glued it together, but actually holding it in your hand like this, it makes it really easy to do your holes. So you've got this pinched bit here, and there's like a little triangle, and I'm going to put my hole round about the middle of this triangle. I'll do one and you'll see where I've done it. It will all be really obvious. Like that. You see? And so I've done one, so now I'm going to go around and I'm going to do the next one. And so you're going to do this 8 times because you've got 8 triangles. Do not be stressed if all of the holes aren't in exactly the same place, because it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to know. They're not going to line up, be out of alignment and not work when you get to the tying it off stage. It's going to be perfectly fine. And remember when you're poking the holes that you're going through 2 layers here, so you do need a decent hole punch. The crocodile is a good one. Sadly, Stampin' Up! Don't sell it anymore, but you do get other hole punches as well that you can use. Okay, so now you can see I've got my holes all the way around. I'm going to use, this is the Simply Elegant trim out of the annual catalogue, and it's got to be gold, doesn't it? Everything else is black and gold. So I'm going to pinch these together. So you should have a little triangle on the top and have that pinched together, and I'm going to feed my gold trim through that hole, and I'm going to do the same with the next one. You may have noticed that I haven't cut my twine off of my reel at this stage, and I haven't because I'm Scottish and stingy. No, I'm thrifty. I don't need to cut a huge long piece. I'll thread it through, I'll tie it in a knot, and then I'll figure out how much I need, and then I'll be able to cut it to size. Waste not, want not, as my mummy taught me. There we go. And once you've gone all the way around like that, when you pull that together, you see, all of those crease lines that you did before fall perfectly into place. That's done it just with a circle. You could do even tighter if you wanted to. Get it right into the center, and you've got this beautiful star-shaped box. So having done that, I'm now going to tie it in a knot. In fact, I'm going to tie it in a double knot to hold it nice and firm. And then do my bunny ears to get my bow finished off like that. Now I can trim it off. And what I might, well, it's pretty enough just like that, having my box. What I could do is feed another bit of thread through there. You could have that hanging on the tree. You could have that dangling, and that could be a decoration to hang on your Christmas tree. But that is a really, really cute box with a beautifully decorated top, and it's really easy to do. So half a sheet of A4 and not even half a sheet of 6x6 and a bit of twine, and that gets you that box. There we go. Right, let's jump back to me here and switch that off. I hope you enjoyed tonight's project. I'm going to have a new project for you next Wednesday for you to watch. If anybody's been watching on Twitch or on YouTube, then hi. Make sure you comment and say hello. This is the first time I've done streaming in multiple locations at the same time, so I hope it's worked. I won't know until afterwards when I take it off and check. But thank you so much for joining me, and to all my lovely regulars who join me on Facebook, I hope you have a fabulous week. To those that I'm going to see on Saturday, can't wait, it's going to be fun. And yeah, happy crafting. And if you do make one of these yourself, please share with me. You know, I love seeing the projects that you make and the things that you come up with. So yeah, have a good week, everyone.